Now, introducing first challenger, hailing from Brooklyn, New York, weighing in 240 pounds. He has been wrestling for 20 years. He is one half of the legendary tag team, the SAT. He is everyone's puppy. He is the CEO of Fighting Spirit Wrestling. Please welcome Lucha legend, Maximo! And introducing his opponent, also from Brooklyn, New York, weighing in at 245 pounds. He has been in professional wrestling for 3 years and is the current reigning and defending Fighting Spirit Wrestling heavyweight champion, the Man of Steel.
Here giving a proper welcome to the champion in Brooklyn, ladies and gentlemen. They absolutely love him, and Ozzy displays the gold there for the fans here at Fighting Spirit Wrestling, and it is about to be on, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, now I'm going to talk and give my analysis of this match. We have a Lucha legend going up a legitimate Superman in professional wrestling. This is a clash of titans, and on a night like this, we just don't know what's going to happen. We've seen 2 titles change hands already.
Absolutely, and now you see Mr. Maximo extending the arm there. Here's the crowd, ladies and gentlemen, with the verna chant. They love Mr. Verna here.
We're about to be joined by Peterson once again in about a moment.
Absolutely, and Mr. Steranko, I have a couple of questions for you here.
Here we go.
Now, Mr. Stockpo's taken over. Is Joe Maximo more interested in becoming the champion than he would have been when he was, running things here at Fighting Spirit Wrestling? Perhaps now that he's he's been relieved of his duties by Mr. Stockpo there, perhaps he really wants this title here. Perhaps this is really all he can think about. Is becoming the champion again. You see the technical ability on display there. Mr. Maximo taking it to the champion here. Another arm drag there, Mr. Verna bloody thrash as Mr. Maximo in the center of the ring, asserting his power early here, and Mr. Maximo is all business, ladies and gentlemen, all business.
Maximo is just owning that ring right now.
Absolutely. Mr. Maximo, all business as the champion circles about the ring there, trying to get his wits about him now.
Yeah, you got some fans yelling out here, you still got it. I don't think Maximo ever lost it.
No, he never lost it.
Mr. Peterson,
and he never will.
Let me ask you the same question I asked Mr. Steranko.
Shoot.
Being that Mr. Stockpo has relieved Mr. Maximo of his duties here as the COO of Fighting Spirit Wrestling, would you agree that Mr. Maximo is now more interested in the title than he would have been before? Because, we saw part of the reason this is a budding rivalry. The last time they said it was for the fans, it was supposed to be for the fans, and as the match begun, it became a title match. And Mr. Verna, very upset. I spoke to Mr. Verna about that, spoke to Mr. Stockpole about that. What are your thoughts? Is Mr. Maximo's eyes clearly on the gold here? Mr. Peterson, what is your thoughts on that?
Well, absolutely, because again, he was the COO of, COO, my apologies, and also a wrestler. He had 2 different hats on. But then PJ came in, went to the commission, and told him, and now he's in charge now. So Joel has 1 less hat to wear, which gives him a better mindset of going for that gold that he's held numerous times, not Fighting Spirit, but different golds around the globe.
Absolutely.
And again, for those of you who don't know Joel Maximo, he's 1/2 of the legendary tag team, the SAT, the Spanish announce team. They've been around for a long time, even before I was born.
Absolutely.
Well, not true, I'm only 23, but still. They've been around since I was born.
We've seen the SAT, we've seen them in TNA, WWE there, and we know what's going on there. But Mr. Maximo clearly, and I do agree with Mr. Peterson, now that Mr. Maximo only has to wear 1 hat, he's clearly more focused on being the champion, because now nobody can accuse him of being the man who runs the promotion and the champion. He can just be another wrestler here on the roster of Fighting Spirit Wrestling who happens to be the champion.
Every wrestler wants a world championship. It doesn't matter if you're running the company. It doesn't matter if you've taking some time off. That passion doesn't leave you. And when you're a passionate man like Maximo, he's going to do what he can to get his hands back on that title. And as we see, we're seeing a great seesaw match so far.
Absolutely. And a smart to the face. You see the disrespect there? And a counter slap to the face there. And a big chop to the chest there of the champion. And another chop by the champion. And they're having a go in the center of the ring, ladies and gentlemen. And I believe this is more personal than maybe either one of them has let on.
Yeah, well, I think that
the disrespectful smack to the face there, and a proper headbutt by the champion to Mr. Joel Maximo, clearly feeling that as he's on one knee.
That's two hard heads coming together, almost knocked them both out, as you can see.
And as Fat Joe used to say, leaving suckers resting on their right knee, I believe it was, in one of those songs he did with Big Pun there.
Now we got Ozzy. Now we got senior official ref Ozzy checking up on the champ here.
Well, he better.
It looks like the champ is. He's doing the count out now.
I don't think Maximo's going to let him out there that long. He wants that title, and you can't get that in the count out.
And Mr. Maximo there having a little sip of the water there, looks quite relaxed in the corner.
You know, tonight's been a very interesting night. We've seen the tag titles change hands. We've seen the Primero title change hands.
Woo!
This could be Joel Maximo's luck because the title may change to Joel. We may have new champions. We have a third new champion by the end of tonight. You never know.
Absolutely, and it would be absolutely unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, bloody blasted him in the face there, and Mr. Verna will feel that in the morning.
Yeah, well, Verna's got a new face tattoo.
Unbelievably perfectly executed, and here's Mr. Maximo off the top rope there with a frog splash perfectly executed, and Mike Verna is in trouble, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Maximo clearly in control. Mr. Steranko, your thoughts?
The frog splash on his lower back. That can ruin the rest of his career.
And Mike Verna showing the resilience there after being bloody thrashed by Mr. Maximo, kicking out, a near fall but just a 2 count, and Mr. Maximo having clearly the leverage here in the match, and he's trying to work him in the center of the ring, whipped him into the corner there, and another bloody kick to the face there. Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to be eating soup for a week and drinking tea as Mr. Bolls does every day.
You know, for the first couple of minutes of this match, they were testing each other.
Wait a minute here. Wait a minute. We've spoken about this before.
Can we see a possible Spanish fly here?
Wait a minute.
Straight we are.
And if he can do it, can Mr. Verna endure if the Spanish fly is perfectly executed?
No, he can't.
Unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. In position for the Spanish fly.
What the heck is he doing?
Unbelievable. And what's going on here? Mr. Verna trying to work his way out of it, and Mr. Maximo
It's like
trying to execute here.
It's like King Kong.
Just bloody tossed him off there. Bloody tossed him off onto his back. And Mr. Maximo is all business tonight here, ladies and gentlemen.
Wait a second. Maximo's not done up there.
Unbelievable! Perfectly executed moonsault on the champion. 1, 2. Oh, ladies. Wait a minute. It was only a 2 count.
I don't know. I can't even fathom how Verna kicked out of that one.
Ladies and gentlemen, I will need my heart medication if I see another near fall like that. This is one of the best matches we've seen in the history of Fighting Spirit Wrestling. Mr. Maximo clearly in control, kicking Mike Verna in the face. Here's another kick to the face. And I thought that Spanish fly would be unbelievable. And here it is.
Looks like Verna's not done exactly.
Verna's not done. You see the resilience. He's a champion for a reason.
You see Verna going to the second rope now. Now he's going to the top rope. What is he doing?
Unreal.
Oh my God!
Unbelievable. Perfectly executed. Moonsault there onto Mr. Maximo. And Mr. Maximo will feel that.
We're watching two.
Now both competitors are knocked out right now as the referee starts doing a 10 count.
Here's the 10 count by Ozzy. One of these competitors will have to get up or we'll have a double count out here, and I don't think the fans want to see that. And here's Mr. Maximo closer to being on his feet, and Mr. Maximo just about there. There he is.
We're watching two amazing competitors right now. They're trying to upstage each other.
And
their moves are mirroring each other's.
They're working them on the corner like
Let me explain something to the fans here. I'm sorry to interrupt, gentlemen. But for those of you who don't follow Fighting Spirit Wrestling, the reason why Joel has so much anger. Oh, a kick to the leg. Oh, is he setting up for the clover leaf?
Yep. This is very dangerous for Maximo.
Oh, Nope.
Mr. Maximo not having it there. Showing the resilience.
Oh, DDT.
Small DDT there. And Mr. Verna will feel that. And Mr. Peterson, you were saying.
So anyway, for those of you who don't follow Fighting Spirit Wrestling, the reason why Joel is more aggressive because not only were you two gentlemen saying that he is no longer the owner, no, he is the owner, but the director of operations for Fighting Spirit Wrestling, but also he feels like his student, the champ, is showing a little bit of disrespect to him.
He is!
And that's the speculations I'm here. Oh, he has him up.
That's him up for the powerbomb there. In position there.
Oh! I think Verna was on the losing end of that one.
Verna, it wasn't perfectly executed, but Mr. Verna kind of wraggled his way out of it a bit, but he still felt the butt end of it there.
So anyway, Joel came back to wrestling back at Immortals Holiday 5 after a lengthy hiatus, about a year, and won against El Champion Eddie Vergara and was victorious. And then Mike Verna came out and declared, you know what, next show, Kill Them All, we're gonna do a student versus teacher challenge for the title.
Absolutely.
Not for the title at the time, but then when it came to the time of the show, after the introductions were done, the champ decided to put the title on the line, and then the champ was victorious. And then back at Only the Strong, as we stepped up for the cloverleaf here. Oh god!
And with all the leverage in the world, is Mike Verna now with the cloverleaf on Mr. Maximo, and Mr. Maximo's feeling that, ladies and gentlemen.
Could you imagine if Maximo was forced to tap in front of his own company?
So I own the Strong. He feels that, you know, that PJ Stackpole is in Verna's mind. And speaking of which, that's Mr. Stackpole right now.
Here's Mr. Stackpole giving advice to Mr. Verna.
Once again.
Possibly telling Verna, you've got to hurt this man when he's down. The same advice he gave him.
There you go. 1, 2, 3.
Wow. It's over. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mike Verna is still the champion.
Fighting Spirit Wrestling Heavyweight Champion, Mike Verna!
Looks like Verna's feeling some kind of way about beating his mentor.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was an unbelievable match. Now, if we saw the spawners fly perfectly executed, ladies and gentlemen, I believe we would have had a different outcome here tonight.
Absolutely. But Verna overcame.
Mr. Verna pulling it out of his bag, as it were, retaining the championship. He's still the champion here at Fighting Spirit Wrestling, ladies and
But
gentlemen.
folks, do not go away, because coming up next in the main event, we have the Lions Den Rumble, where the winner will be guaranteed a championship opportunity for this year any of the titles on the line, and they can cash in at any time within 1 year. And that is definitely something you do not want to miss out on.
Now I'm going to speculate right now. Verna won that match because he had the moral support